Hey y'all, welcome to My Way Mysteries, the channel that brings you interdimensional content, which means that the readings are from a broad and expansive point of view as they are channeled through vast dimensions of space and time and therefore should resonate with you guys whenever you come across them. So this is Inkanyamba reading, but I've been asked to speak to you guys about entities. And I suppose it's entities that kind of have that Inkanyamba frequency vibe. Obviously, it's not like all the entities that have the Nkanyamba frequency are the same, but like I'm gonna talk to you guys about a specific type or specific characteristics mostly, and these seems to be the ones. It's entity season basically. You know how there was like Nzunza season, this it's entity season. You remember how you guys were talking about how the veil being thin, and I was like, I don't know if it's like veil the Halloween thing that people talk about, but it's not a lie. I don't think it has anything to do with Halloween, obviously, but it's not a lie, like the veil being thin around this time. But basically entities be reaching out to physically dense beings, aka humans, for collaborations, for co-creative projects, teacher student collaborations, whatever it is, but basically entities be wanting to work with the humans. And there's just certain characteristics of entities that I've been asked to relay to you guys, kind of like so that you are able to expand your understanding, and that allows you to better connect with a certain entity. Like, I don't think people understand what the point of expanding your consciousness is. And it's so that you're able to reach higher, but also so that those beings that are of a higher frequency are able to reach through to you. Only if you have some kind of a template of a certain idea, example, an entity or Nzunza or Inkanyamba, it's only then that that energy is able to connect with you properly. Otherwise, you're likely to just be afraid and then suffer from psychosis, because your mind will be like trying to grasp at like, what is this, what's this feeling, what's going on, because I have nothing in my programming that I can relate this to. And that kind of discombobulation, that kind of like lack of calibration makes it so that you get a bit psychosy. Or yeah, have you guys seen Constantine? There's the part in the beginning, it's like the first scene. If you haven't seen Constantine, you need to watch Constantine. Like, wow. Which is interesting because also I wanted to say, some of you, the entities that are connecting with you are like angels. Some of you archangels. Like, it's a really potent time. But anyway, Constantine, it's one of the first scenes where they are doing an exorcism on this girl, and they're putting this mirror over the girl because the demon is opuma, like it's gonna like come out of the girl. And the people that are helping Constantine like hold up the mirror over the girl, he tells them, don't look, like keep your eyes closed. But he doesn't have to keep his eyes closed because his consciousness is expanded. Like, he's seen many demons, he's seen angels, so it's normal. But one of the guys opens their eyes and immediately his whole head turns gray, like his hair turns gray, he ages a million years, he ages up till death in those 5 seconds because of what he saw. And it's basically because his mind was not able to calibrate what he saw. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, what is that? And it basically put a shock in his system, and it like his system was like, his operating system was like, I'm out. Nah, what? Nah, no, 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 no for me. No for me. I'm tapping out. I'm out. Fuck this. So that's actually the value of an expanded consciousness. It's literally about expanding your world. It's literally about helping you grow, like literally. So, yeah. And figuratively, I suppose. I mean, because I'm thinking literally, they're gonna say like physically. Well, well, no, but you know, growing mentally and emotionally is also literal. So yeah. Okay, so entities, or the entities that are coming through to connect to you guys. Like I said, some of you are connecting with certain angels, and you're needing to understand that because of what you've been told, right? You've been told how angels are like soft spoken, and you know, they're just so feather soft, and you know, like, come here, come here, like. And you know, I'm not saying those angels don't exist. I'm just saying, like, guys, entities are entities have characteristics of equanimity, which is to say they have a very like balanced type of energy, or a balanced type of personality. So it doesn't exhibit, for instance, like shock or anything like that, but it also doesn't exhibit like this meekness that you've been taught, that an energy of a high frequency is very like, yeah, like, no. And also, I think one of the misconceptions is that high frequency entities, or even what you call angels, lack personality. Like, you know, balance. When I say something's energy is balanced, or a personality is balanced, it doesn't mean it lacks color. It doesn't mean it lacks expression. No, it just means ukuthi it lacks extremity. So, for instance, like, you'll never find an entity screaming at you, like, why did you do that? I can't believe you did that. Like, no. The same way you'll never find an entity saying, please, please do this, please do this. Like, no. It's a very balanced type of energy, it's a very balanced type of personality, but the personality is there. And I think also what you don't get told is also how flamboyant um entity energy is. I think it's the thing of not being locked up in physicality, like not being trapped in physicality, that freedom, that expansion of self allows entities to be very unafraid, because ultimately they understand nothing to be afraid of. Like, this is our home. Like, there's nothing to be afraid of. Like, we were created out of everything for everything. So, yeah. Um, a lot of entities also have a sense of humor, which is something that you're also not told. It's like you're told, Uguti, a relationship or a friendship or some kind of a connection with an entity is this strict thing, you know, where you must be whatever idea of good that you've been told. And like, you know, you can't be thinking about certain things when you're connecting with entities, because therefore that is impure. Sometimes not understanding Guti, it is that exact same entity that has planted that thought in your mind. Because um because it's about to enjoy 5 minutes of laughing at you and how you're reacting to it. but at the same time trying to get you to loosen up, because a connection can only be genuinely formed if you are yourself. A genuine connection can only be formed if you are authentic. You cannot form a connection out of what you think another being wants you to be. Egbeni, you are actually not that. Then you are scamming. Then you are a fraud. And if that's what you are, then an entity is not going to want to collaborate with you, because therefore you lack depth. Depth allows you to understand that there are many ways which you are allowed to be. And even though maybe all of them may not be as refined as you want them to be, it still maybe doesn't make you a bad person. It makes you someone who is in progress, who is in a state of becoming. And entities see that as a fun place to be, where you are creating and building a version of yourself that you currently require to connect to, or to bring forth to yourself, to manifest whatever it is that you want. It's a state of play. It's a state of fun. It's supposed to be fun. It's not meant to be, and I understand, like, based on other stories that we've heard, it hasn't always been fun. Like, when someone works with an entity, sometimes it's seen as so serious. Like, if you look at stories in the Bible, like, Moses was freeing slaves from Egypt. Like, good God, how do you do that while you're laughing? While you're thinking about impure thoughts, like, you can't. So it's understandable that certain people have certain ideas about collaborations with high frequency beings. It always has to be this serious thing. Hey, I am the chosen one in my bloodline, and I have to free them from the karmic cycle. I am the curse breaker. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I do take you guys seriously. Please don't think I do not take these things seriously. I do. But again, this is an example of, like, yes, boo. Entities are like, we're gonna do that. That's literally what we're doing. But take it easy. Like, relax. How you could see if you laugh, it's not gonna happen. How you could see if you don't also take this opportunity to learn certain things about yourself, to learn certain things about your persona, about how you're able to navigate certain situations, not only through seriousness. I would say if you do that, that means that you're not going to break the generational curses. That means that you're not going to free your bloodline from whatever it is. You were still doing. That's why we are collaborating. We're going to do it. We're doing it. But it's actually okay. No one is going to take this away from you if you enjoy your exploration or your adventure as you go about doing this. It's not wrong to have fun while you collaborate with an entity. It's not wrong to have fun on your way to making yourself a better person. In fact, certain entities recommend it because you best believe there's going to be times when it's not fun. There's going to be times when it's really rough. And when I say really rough, I just mean, like, there's going to be parts of yourself that are discovered that are maybe having characteristics of, like, shame, or what the world calls depravity. Like, maybe you're a pervert and you're really ashamed of that. And you coming to terms with that is gonna be a really, really hard process. So the parts of the process where you can laugh or have fun with it, like, take it, because it's part of the balance. It's part of the ebb and flow of the night and day, of the sun and moon, of the duality is not opposites. It's not two points that oppose each other. It's actually different things that are saying the same thing, just in a different way. That's what duality is. So, this night and day and good and bad, ultimately, this is all about you and the ultimate state of yourself that you are trying to get to, the gold of the game. And as much as there's the parts that are, you know, dark, that you would describe as dark, like not fun, there's definitely gonna be the parts where you are having fun and it's great and you're laughing and you self-discovering. Those are as important as the dark parts you're going through. Sometimes you guys think that if you're laughing, it means you're not serious about it. Like if you're having fun, if it's great, if you're thinking sexual thoughts, then it means you're not serious. Like, no, sometimes the sexual things are, it's part of the whole thing, okay? I'm particularly talking about the sexual things because that's where people tend to be like, you are on your way to the lower to the lower places. This is a road to hell. Who is this entity? I cannot possibly be on my way to the higher realms. La, with all this sex, all this sexual talk. No, Ganti, hi, Luto, Ganti, no, Shem. Like everything is everything, like Lauren Hill said. Ooh, let me pull some cards for y'all. More than anything, also, I think even this reading, guys, it's just to get you, comfortable with yourself, like loosen up. It's very hard for an entity to work with you when you are rigid because you're so afraid of making the wrong step, of saying the wrong thing, of thinking the wrong thing. That makes it near impossible. Only fear knows how to move, like when you're like that. But these other more expanded versions of yourself, like these other expanded entities and energies, nah, they can't move in this small space because they're expanded. They have wings spread. These entities fly. You get what I mean by fly, right? I don't mean like bird flap away and fly. I mean I mean I mean they are of high frequency. They are not forced to be at ground level. They are flexible in terms of dimensionality. So they require space. And what that translates to in your personal life is the ability to allow yourself to be. Yabona, those of you who are even able to love the parts of yourself that you might not even be proud of. And when I say love, I mean you have compassion for those parts. Because I'm not saying, Guti, like, you're a piece of shit and you're like, yeah, I like the way I am. I don't care. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a certain understanding of self. I wish I hadn't done that, but I also understand why I did it. Do you see the difference? When you're able to do that, you have opened yourself up to an invitation of teaching from a higher being, from a higher frequency. You must understand also that these beings, these entity, they are ordained to teach. They are ordained to help us expand ourselves. Like that is literally, it is their function because it is their nature. whether they are teaching you through anything, whether they are teaching it to you through the war that's happening within you internally, whether they are teaching you through a relationship that is actually abusive, whether they are teaching you through freeing time of sexual exploration within your life, whether they are teaching you through your marriage and how to expand that and make you a better partner. Fact is, they are ordained to teach and expand you. And remember what I said the other day, like the same, like expansion and contracting, is that the word? Why is it running away from me? But yes, it's part of the game. Like I said before, remember, duality is not about opposites. It's actually about two things that are saying the same thing, just in different ways. And it's not just two things. Duality is a representation of the spectrum of life, how the spectrum is all communicating the same thing: oneness, wholeness. But it can be communicated in so many different ways, in an infinite amount of ways. And that is the joy of living. I have no idea what these cards are saying. Let's pull from another deck. Yo. This one, no, this one. This one. So just like I said, I think I said it in the previous reading, you know, you guys' dreams are going to get more interesting. And even your waking life is going to get more interesting. You're going to find that you have answers to things that you feel like you shouldn't have answers to. And you're wondering, where am I getting these answers? Because, boo, you have a partner now. You have a visitor. And basically, like, you are being whispered to. Like, you're gonna find that you feel as though, like, no, why do I know that? You know, some of you will be like, oh, I got a download, not realizing how close this download is. It's here. It's here. It's not very far. And yeah. Yeah, some of you, this is already happening and you've been confused as to, like, what's going on. What is this? What is this? But this is also very healing for you. There's certain information that's going to be transferred to you that explains certain situations in your past, certain childhood situations, certain questions that you actually, some of you didn't even know that you had. And all of a sudden, you're going to be able to explain, you're going to be able to connect dots that you were not able to. And within that, as much as, yes, this is healing, it's a healing experience, but you're also being taught how to link things up in your world. You're being taught how to look at the bigger picture. You're being taught how to extract yourself from limitation, or from a limiting idea or a limiting perspective. Some of you are very much also in need of putting up boundaries, and you're also going to be taught how to do that. It's like some of the entities that you guys are collaborating with are they want all of your attention. They don't want to share your attention. And so you know, entities, guys, are so interesting, right? Because, okay, let me start with that. Guys, high frequency entities do not force you into collaborations with them. If you want to, it happens. If you don't want, it's very simple. Cool, bye. And to be honest, if you don't want, you're not even gonna get a knock. Like, you don't even get the invitation. Hello. Like, it's cool. If you are if this is not your vibe, like, you don't have to worry about it. So, don't be feeling like, hi guys, I mean, I don't want this. I don't want this. Don't worry, but if you don't want it, it ain't gonna happen. Like, literally, this reading is not for you. Like, and that's okay. That's okay. There's playlists. So, and there's like 320 videos on this channel. I'm pretty sure you can find another video that you resonate to. Okay, and you portly for real. Like, for real. So, yeah, let's just start there. Like, as much as entities are like weird in the sense that, like, they can be kind of as pervy as some of you, but they're also highly intelligent, obviously, beyond even our understanding. We think intelligence is getting an A in school. Ooh, intelligence is so much more than that. Intelligence is what some of you do when you know what someone is feeling. Intelligence is what some of you do when you're able to understand what someone is saying from what they're not saying. That's intelligence. Intelligence is understanding your own template and knowing what works for you, and connecting to that in order to allow yourself to flourish. That's that. Intelligence is understanding how your own inner technology works. Intelligence is understanding how another's technology works in relation to you. Intelligence is the ability to connect with an entity. But yeah, I digress. Guys, some of you, these entities want your full attention, and they're not going to force you. They're not going to kidnap you from your life. So what they're gonna do, because I want to say basile, but I feel like you guys won't understand. You'll think I'm saying they're evil, and it's not that. They're intelligent. They know how to get what they want smoothly. So what they're going to do is that they're going to start exposing certain people in your life, basically. Like, there's people that you think are the best people to be around. Gandhi, things are not so good, and these entities are going to start exposing so that you can start creating space between you and these people. But ultimately, I mean, you will benefit, because I think it's good to know the truth about certain, like, connections and relationships. But ultimately, it's because this entity just wants you to themselves. No, they will not create stories that are not true. No, they will not create circumstances that are not true. Like, if you do not want to accept what you're seeing, that's your prerogative. That is your right. Ilungelo lakho. However, they are going to expose certain people. And ultimately, I just want you to understand that this connection that you're making with whatever entity, whether it is a star being, whether it is an angel, whether it is a sun king, whether it is a moon goddess, whether it is an underwater magician, whatever it is for your education. It is for the expansion of your being. It is for you to move forward. It is a sign of you being ready for the next stage of your understanding of the universe, and ultimately your understanding of yourself. So yeah, that's what I have for you guys. I'm wondering what the hell. So that's what I have for you guys. If it resonated, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you want to book a personal reading, all the information is in the description box. Okay, guys.